Here's how the game works. 2 combatants enter, only 1 leaves. The objective? To smush your opponent's head, leading to their untimely death. This season on Super Smush Brothers.
A hot battle is unfolding!
Mewtwo, the Psychic-type genetic Pokemon.
What Pokemon will appear next?
Darkrai, the Dark-type pitch-black Pokemon. So he's a Dark-type legendary, and Mewtwo is a Psychic-type legendary. Mewtwo's been on the show before, of course.
Yes.
He,
Season 1.
I think he came in 2nd place.
Yep. Behind that pink demon.
The pink demon that we don't talk about. Man, I love Mewtwo so much. Between the movie and the various times he was on the anime and like the legend of the powerful Mewtwo in the games and all that stuff, I just love him so much. And every time Mewtwo's up against somebody, be it from his universe or otherwise, I'm always so quick to be like, Mewtwo's gotta win. He's so cool. And he's so like calculated. Even if it's not the Mewtwo that talks from the anime, he's so like smart. He's such a smart Pokemon. But Darkrai is just like literally like part of the I am the shadows and the shadows are me.
Yeah. Is he even smushable?
Darkrai? That's a good point.
There's 2 Pokemon I can think of in this group that I'm gonna question smushability.
Oh God. His whole head is his body.
Yeah, are you thinking ahead?
I didn't even consider that. Oh, you know what? It gets even more interesting because Mewtwo can Mega Evolve into Mega Mewtwo X, which makes him Psychic Fighting, but Fighting doesn't do anything to Ghosts.
No.
I think it's going to be on a case-by-case basis because I think in this case, if Mewtwo were to win, he could use his various Psychic abilities to somehow crush whatever Darkrai's head, whatever crushing Darkrai's head looks like. I think he could do it with his Psychic abilities. So maybe he actually doesn't Mega Evolve because it won't give him an advantage.
Yeah.
Because he's already a legendary fighting another legendary.
Right.
And if he Mega Evolves, all he will do is gain fighting, which serves no
And as you
advantage.
mentioned before, he is very strategic.
Yeah.
Every time let's talk Darkrai.
Yeah, I mean, every time I've come in contact with Darkrai, he's just pretty much like chaos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's just like evil, you know?
Does chaos beat strategy?
Yeah, that's
all
kind
you
of
need
where...
is one good hit.
Right, that's kind of where my head is at. I think even though Darkrai can, like... I'm not sure if he can do this, but let's, for argument's sake, say that Darkrai can, like, literally turn into a shadow like the things from Kingdom Hearts. I think Mewtwo still got it. I think Mewtwo's going to be smart enough in this matchup to figure it out.
Okay.
And I'm being I know we were talking about trying to like be theatrical about it. I'm being vague, but it's because we're talking about psychic abilities and ghost shadows. But I think I'm gonna give it to Mewtwo.
Okay.
And there goes the battle! A hot battle is unfolding!
Gengar, the ghost and poison type shadow Pokemon.
What Pokemon will appear next?
Chandelor, the ghost and fire type luring Pokemon. Next up we have Gengar versus Chandelor.
Oh, that's not a head.
No, none of that is a head. None of that is a head. Gengar's ghost, right? Or is he ghost poison? Gengar is ghost poison. When he Mega Evolves, his type does not change. Chandelor is ghost fire. They're both ghosts, so I think the argument of can they is moot. Because I think they can, because they are both ghosts, so I'm sure they'll figure it out. What we need to talk about is the form of these Pokemons, because one of them is a face with arms and legs, and one of them is a literal, actual chandelier.
Yeah. I say the center of Chandelor is the
I
skull.
think his, like, bulb, or whatever you want to call it. But it's not, I can only assume it's not made of glass.
No, it's ghost particles.
Yeah. Here's where my head is at. Chandelor cannot Mega Evolve, and Gengar can Mega Evolve. And when Gengar Mega Evolves, he turns into like the creepiest, like scariest Pokemon that ever existed. He literally grows a third eye and opens it, and his third eye can see into multiple other dimensions. And he like, as far as Pokken is concerned, I know we're not technically going off that, but as far as Pokken is concerned, he like eats people
Yeah.
and like sends you to like a nightmare trick room of his own like form.
So you think he outwits Chandelor and then just does
Not
what
even
he wants?
not even outwits. That's a good point you bring up. I've always thought of Gengar as kind of dumb, kind of like I've always
thought of him as the complete opposite.
Really? I've always considered Gengar like a mischievous little kid who's just going on instinct.
I always thought he was smart.
Interesting.
That smile.
I mean, if you asked me, I would say Chandelor is more intelligent than Gengar. But
I don't know. I think I'd have to combat you on that.
okay.
I think Gengar doesn't care,
Right.
but I think
right.
he's very smart.
Okay. I mean, regardless, he Mega Evolves and Chandelor does not.
Right.
And Chandelor, most of his attacks are long range, beams and fireballs and stuff like that. Gengar's got Shadow Sneak though, which I know is a common ghost move, but like that's like his move, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just he can move around in the shadows and Chandelor cannot. And also he can Mega Evolve. And I think that combination of skills.
Also, he can teleport.
Can he straight up teleport?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Gengar wins.
I'm pretty sure he has the ability to teleport.
Yeah, I mean, if he like doesn't, he like I would say he does anyways because he's sort of like a ghost, and ghosts can like, at least in normal media, do that thing where they like disappear and reappear somewhere else, which I'm assuming Chandelor can also do. But I think Gengar's just more powerful. I think we're gonna see. I think Gengar's gonna meet his maker, maybe.
You
But
think so?
I mean, at least his an equal match for him, you know. But I don't think it's Chandelor.
No.
And there goes the battle! A hot battle is unfolding!
Garchomp, the dragon and ground type Mach Pokemon.
What Pokemon will appear next?
Machamp, the fighting type superpower Pokemon.
So here's my question,
Mm-hmm.
because I thought this was going to be in the bag for Machamp,
Mm-hmm.
but it's pretty dependent on an important question.
Okay.
Machamp,
Yes.
rock or flesh?
Flesh.
Flesh?
Yeah. Hard head for sure, but definitely flesh.
Okay. I think Garchomp, I think it doesn't matter how many arms you have.
Mm.
I think if somebody with sword hands comes up to you.
Well, not even comes up to you. Garchomp can burrow underground.
Yeah.
So he's just like, you know?
I think cut off all four arms, cut the head off, and then you know,
Yeah.
fillet the head.
Gross. Even if Machamp was like the most muscular being in all of existence, like,
I mean, if he was rock, I'd make an exception.
right, but he's not. He's straight fighting, so he's got to be made of flesh. But I'm saying, like, even if he was like very, very super strong, like
Yeah.
the strongest there is, I think Blade will still
Yeah.
get the job done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a quick match for Garchomp.
And there goes the battle! A hot battle is unfolding!
Krogunk, the poison and fighting toxic mouth Pokemon. I really didn't want to say that one. Weavile, the dark and ice type sharp claw Pokemon. Here's the deal about fighting Krogunk, especially if you're Weavile. Weavile's very close up, so is Krogunk, but Krogunk can multiply himself. Like, there's like 20 Krogunks on the screen at one point.
My question would be strength for Krogunk.
Well, even if his strength is way less than Weavile, which I don't think it is because he's fighting and Weavile is not. I feel like Weavile exceeds in speed and Krogunk exceeds in strength between these two. Even if his strength is less than we think it is, when there's like 10 to 20 Krogunks, just
Yeah.
like...
Well, okay, so they materialize. They're not just an illusion.
No, yeah, they're there.
Oh, then he gets it.
And there goes the battle! A hot battle is unfolding!
Scizor, the bug and steel type pincer Pokemon.
What Pokemon will appear next?
Blastoise, the water type shellfish Pokemon.
Is Scizor made out of metal?
It would appear as though, like, he might not be made out of metal, but he definitely has, like, a hard shell. Because that's the whole thing about Scyther and Scizor, how Scyther's like a fragile bug, and then he evolves and he gets like a hard chitin.
Yeah.
And I can only assume it's made out of a steel-like material, seeing as he went from bug to bug steel. And then I can only assume that chitin I referred to gets harder when you Mega Evolve.
Right.
And as we know, when Blastoise Mega Evolves, his 2 cannons becomes 1 big cannon. And he could do Hydro Pump real good.
Here's my deal.
Yeah.
Defense on both are
Pretty
through the roof.
Yeah, because Shell.
Because Shell, and he can hide in Shell.
Mm-hmm. I believe that move is called Withdraw.
And I don't think Scizor can cut through his shell.
Alternatively, I don't think Blastoise has
Can break his...
the strength or the water power to break through his shell.
That's what I was thinking.
This is I didn't think that. This one is pretty evenly matched, I'd say. I think we're down to wits.
Well, I was going to say, even if Scizor does get the upper hand, Blastoise is THICC. How is he going to get through all that head?
Wait, what? How's he going to get through what?
He's just, you got to assume that skull is thick.
Blastoise's?
Yeah.
Well, he's a turtle, so you'd assume his skull is thick but still malleable. Because the point is it goes into the shell to protect itself.
You can't. He's not going to be able to get a clean cut, like to cut his head off. He'd have to kill Blastoise,
right?
Then do whatever
and then
he felt like.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd have a chance to kill him though. He wears himself out while Blastoise hangs out in his shell.
Yeah, I think and he can like attack from within the shell like Bowser from Smash Brothers, you know. So I think if we're talking raw strength and willpower, I think you're right. I think Blastoise has got it. We can leave them figuring out how to crush the other one's skull to them, but as far as winning a Pokemon battle, I think Blastoise has got it. And
we have said before, you're not left to your own devices to finish off the opponent.
You're not?
He can go get a rock if he wants.
Oh, true. Yes. Right. Yeah, of course. I mean, he does. They just gets into the shell, and then just kaboom.
Well, that was my thought, but then we were saying Shell probably can't break his shell.
Yeah, but if he defeats Scizor in a Pokemon battle or kills him or whatever, he just keeps at it. I think he can eventually. That's the thing. I think if Blastoise got the upper hand and just kept at it, trying to crush Scizor's head and his chitin, he would eventually do it. But I think if it was the other way around, Scizor would not be able to break Blastoise's shell ever.
And there goes the battle! A hot battle is unfolding!
Blaziken, the fire and fighting type Blaze Pokemon.
What Pokemon will appear next?
Aegislash, the steel and ghost type Royal Sword Pokemon. Blaziken is, of course, fire fighting. Aegislash, if I remember correctly, is steel psychic. Blaziken can Mega Evolve.
How hot can Blaziken's fire get?
I'm going to look up their Pokedex entry. Because the Pokedex entry does a really good job of being like, the fire that burned the this. And I bet you that his Mega Evolution one is going to be like, he's crazy hot.
Yeah.
So let's see. So Blaziken doesn't have a Mega Evolution Pokedex entry, but his normal Pokedex entry described his flames as intense. I don't even remember who he's fighting. Oh, Aegislash. Who is a ghost, but like, he's probably the exception to the whole like.
Oh yeah, he's metal.
He's metal. He's a cursed sword, right?
He's steel?
Like he's steel ghost. Yeah. So he's obviously based off the idea of a cursed object. So I think he's definitely a real sword that you can touch and melt and stuff.
Steel melts at 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Do we think Blaziken's flame is that hot? That's pretty hot.
Okay, let's compare him to his peers. Flareon, the fire evolution of Eevee, his flames reach 3,100 degrees. Charizard, who is even more of Blaziken's peer because they are both a triple evolution starter, his fire reaches 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'd say yes.
Wow.
I'd say yes, based on those
What
two.
about Mega Charizard? Because Blaziken does have a Mega Evolution. Just saying, if his normal one, even if somebody makes an argument.
It seems like it's the same.
Okay. We feel confident in saying that it can reach 2,500?
Let's talk about Aegislash for a moment, because, like, what does he got? All my experiences with Aegislash has been, like, he does Shadow Sneak because he's Ghost, but most of his moves, at least in the card game, are, like, self-buffing moves.
Yeah.
Like, now I use my shield and I have a more defense or whatever, but it's still made of
sword
steel,
to
probably.
cut off a head.
Yeah, true. But I feel like Mega Blaziken is, or even normal Blaziken, is going to be faster than Aegislash.
Yeah.
Aegislash can float, I assume. He's always floating in his game in the games. I think it's a quick fight. I think Blaziken just even if he doesn't Mega Evolve, I think he just melts him. Yeah.
Okay.
And there it is. Because like, if it was anyone else, any other type matchup, we would be having a conversation of like, how do you crush a sword? Because his head is like the whole thing. But Aegislash went up against one of the two people who could just be like, and you're melted.
And there goes the battle!
In a world where we eat Pokemon, Blaziken's a giant chicken. I want to eat Blaziken. Could Blaziken use his own... I feel like Blaziken could use his own fire breath to perfectly cook himself. He could temperature control, and he could know the exact temperature at which to perfectly, like, crispy brown himself.
Leave your thoughts in the comments.